what's happened. Listen, we've got the Power Four conference. I get it. But even the other teams now with so many transfers, I love watching the other football.
Oh, yeah.
You've got
college football is better, no matter what level, is better than college football.
You got MAC teams that beat Big Ten teams.
Notre Dame, Northern Illinois.
Well, last year, exactly. And a lot of the stars that you see there will then go on to be stars at other bigger programs. So the whole thing is just a fantastic deal. We talk college football, but we talk MIZ-ZOU. I absolutely love it. 4.5 weeks till they play Central Arkansas. And, of course, it's all coming on the heels of SEC Media Day last week, which the press for that
was amazing.
It blows me away. What has become of college football? It's treated now, in my humble opinion, if not the same as more than NFL coverage, because so many things are open and you have more of an ability to talk to people than you do in the NFL. It's a different, I don't think it's an apples to apples comparison.
I think the only difference is like NFL guys have to talk to you. College guys don't have to.
We saw that. Mike Kelly told us last week.
Luther didn't talk.
You know what? Somebody was listening to our show. That blew their mind. They're like, Mike Kelly never had an interview with Luther
He
Burden.
did one press conference in his 3 years there.
I mean, it is insane. See, that's a shame.
And the thing is, that could be a Luther decision. That could be the SID.
Doesn't matter.
But
that's BS.
But no, what I want to say, though, is that if you're upset about that, people who are upset, don't just blame Luther. We have no idea. Now, do I think it was partially him? Partially he's too exposed already. They didn't want him to do it.
Was Luther getting paid?
He was getting paid. Yeah.
If Luther's getting
I agree. You should have to do it.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
With reward comes responsibility.
Yeah.
You wanted all the money, college football players. You want to be big time. Then you talk to the people who are going to be out there spending the advertising dollars, looking at the possibility of buying a bag of your chips or whatever the case is.
Good chips, by the way.
I never had any.
Pretty good.
I was like, talk. We want to hear from you. And I was like, when Mike said that, I was like, you know what? That is so damn true.
It's crazy.
We didn't hear from him. See, the problem is I do not believe in coddling anybody. Do not coddle high school athletes. Don't coddle college athletes, especially now that they're getting paid. But anyway, love the SEC Media Day.
Let's talk about
Love seeing MIZ-ZOU there. Love seeing Eli. Love the way they represented themselves. I couldn't have imagined it going any better. And think about this. Eli in the SEC with all of their history and roots, he has come in and literally he talks the talk.
Yeah.
He's walked the walk. He's backed it with 21 wins in 2 seasons. And he walks in there and he commands presence. Now, by Thursday when they were there weren't many people there.
Yeah.
For
a bad time.
The press conference.
But he made some social media buzz.
Hell yeah, he did.
Because some coaches go in, they want to filibuster. They have it written out. They get an X amount of time. They talk for 15 minutes. He goes in and tells it how it is. Joining him was Zion Young, the D end for the Tigers. Dalen Carnell, the DB/linebacker, kind of plays everywhere. And Connor Tollison, the starting center for Missouri. So good representation there for the Tigers.
Well, when I looked at the pictures, the physical presence of Zion Young
is huge.
He dwarfed even Connor and Dalen. And I'm going, oh my gosh.
He looked like that nice tailored suit. He looked like he was about to rip out of it.
You know, he looked like an NFL proven veteran in that suit.
Yeah.
He looked the part. There are guys who look the part and then they play the part. There are guys that look the part but don't play the part. That guy, and especially after, once again, Mike Kelly, the color voice of the Tigers who joined us last week, told us what just an impressive body he is.
What
an
impressive
told us
player, young man.
How fast he is. They were talking about him running. Did he say 4.7s?
Something like that.
He's 6'6", 280, running 4.7 with that body. Yeah. And we didn't get a chance to see him last year. So
we saw Zion Young last year.
A little bit.
Yes. Not what we're going to see this year.
Exactly.
Obviously, he had the scoop and score touchdown against Oklahoma.
But he was kind of finding himself.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
We haven't seen what we can with him. And I can't. And I think that sums it up, bud, with MIZ-ZOU. Lots of question marks, but a lot of potential.
I agree. What about there was a lot of questions about Bo Pribula and a lot of, I would say especially from Tollison being the offensive player, he was asked a lot of Bo Pribula, how's Bo? Because, center quarterback relationship. I would say a lot of professional responses from Connor Tolson.
As it should be.
Yeah, I agree.
It's interesting. This whole quarterback battle. Drinkwitz also talked about that. He said it is a true battle. And he said, I'm not just saying it as coach speak. He's like, it's truly a quarterback battle. Now,
I don't buy it.
We've been there before. What you think it's Prabula all the way, right?
I thought the same thing with Cook and Horn 2 years ago. I thought it was a fake battle. I thought it was Cook's job.
Well, you were right.
Yeah, I think this is Bo's job.
It's
Bo's job to lose, I should say.
You're going to see both quarterbacks in the first game.
Yeah, but that's...
you're going to see it just like you did with Horn and Cook.
But even without a battle, you'd see both quarterbacks in this game.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
You're up 4 or 5 touchdowns. Maybe Bo would get one drive in the third quarter, and then Horn would come in anyway.
Well, think about this. When it comes to this quarterback battle, a lot of times you say Connor wouldn't speak of things. Okay, and that's fine. He's very professional down the middle. Dalen Carnell did speak about it.
Yeah.
And he gave a lot more insight into the battle. Who was better or who's that? But he did talk about their traits. Some interesting things that I thought that he said. Number one, Prabula reminds him of Brady Cook and the competitors that they are. Says he's very smart and he wants to win every single, even if it's a little stupid drill, he wants to be first.
Yeah.
He's got to be first. Will he be as intelligent as Brady Cook? I don't know. I haven't been around him, but I'm a Brady Cook slappy. I'm a Brady Cook homie. I knew exactly what Brady Cook was going to give to MIZ-ZOU when he got there. I knew his quarterback coach, Matt Bierman from Elite Football. Matt told me when he went there, there's all this hype, all this talk about guys from East St. Louis and guys from around the country coming in. They're going to push Brady Cook. I told anybody and everybody, Brady Cook will be the starter. Watch. You know why? Because he's the best practice player. He's the best film room guy. Nobody will outwork him. He can read a defense fast. He knows where the ball needs to go. And what happened? That's exactly what happened. And I'm telling you, people don't understand how the game of football, specifically in the SEC, Big Ten, and these Power 4 conferences, is how similar it is to the NFL in regards to the preparation. We talk about getting played. A lot of things come up earlier. You have to be ready to go. Mentally, what is expected of quarterbacks now? It's heading towards what NFL quarterbacks have to be ready. Because, like I said, these defensive coordinators are getting paid high millions of dollars in the SEC, top ones, to make sure that your Saturday is as horrible as it can possibly be as a quarterback. That's why you have to be, first of all, it's one thing, you got to have the physical traits. If you don't, okay, good luck. But mental is what separates these good quarterbacks. And so Prabula gets credit with being the smart competitor.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting that Dalen said that. The other thing that shocked me.
This was shocking.
He said Dalen Carnell's quote was Sam Horn ran, quote, 4.4 or something in the 4. That could be 4.48, whatever. Ran 4.4 when they were doing 40s in the spring.
That's insane.
He's 6'5".
Yeah, it's
I'm
crazy.
telling you, I've stood next to him at 6'4", at least 6'4", close to 6'5", running that speed with that arm.
Yeah.
Is he going to have what it takes between the ears from an intelligence standpoint, experience standpoint, because he doesn't have any experience? I mean, Bo Prabula has more experience than Sam Horn.
Well, and he's been in, this will be his 4th year of college football. 3 years at Penn State, 2 years left. I just think it's a weird situation right now for Sam Horn, because right now he has 2 years of eligibility left. He could get another one with a red shirt, maybe a medical red shirt from last season. But you and Bo both have 2 years left. If you lose this job, I just can't imagine Horn returns to Missouri football next year. He's got drafted by the Dodgers. If you're Sam Horn and you lose this job, go
and
ball out at baseball.
I don't want it to sound disrespectful or callous, but if Sam Horn doesn't come back as a Missouri Tiger fan, not being disrespectful, do you care?
No.
Okay.
It's a shame because
Matt Wallers is sitting right there right now, getting ready.
And he'll be a redshirt sophomore and hopefully ready to start once Bo's
done.
There
are other quarterbacks who are coming, and transfer quarterbacks that will come in as well.
But even if Bo wins this job, who's to say, what if he's bad? What if he gets hurt? Sam Horn could go. A lot of things can happen, which is why if I'm Sam Horn, it's not the worst thing in the world that you're playing football this year. But maybe you say, okay, I've been here 4 years. That's enough for me.
I
want to either go play football or go play Major League Baseball.
Wouldn't it be nice to be a guy, though, and Sam Horn? Oh, all right. I'm not the starter.
Yeah.
I'll just fall back on Major League Baseball.
I'll go to the LA and play for the Dodgers.
What a freaking athlete. But running a 4.4 in the 40.
That's insane.
Coming from Dalen Carlin. I'm like, oh, all right. Those are the type of things that I'm like, okay, you got two damn good athletes again. Hey, you want to compete in the SEC? You better. And for most of us, and I think I'm thinking fair when I'm saying this, aren't we more on the positive, hopeful side that Missouri will have at least 8 wins this next season?
I think if you don't have 8 wins, I'd be surprised.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Then you look at where the SEC media expectations are.
STP.
Oh, yeah.
Still have something to prove.
Chip on the shoulder.
What, 12th? Is that where they?
12th.
Who's below them?
12th out of 16 teams. You got Vanderbilt below them.
Mississippi State.
Kentucky. And hold on a second. I got the other one right here. The other one is, survey says, Arkansas.
Yeah.
How easy to forget. There's 2 that shocked me right above. Auburn, Oklahoma. Is that because of quarterbacks?
I would assume Auburn has
because of quarterback
Jackson
play.
Arnold, who he wasn't very good for Oklahoma last year in the same conference.
All I can think is quarterback.
And
play.
Now I'm blanking. John Mateer is Oklahoma's, but he's young.
Auburn, Oklahoma.
Now, something I did see, speaking of Oklahoma, I think a lot of Mizzou fans are overlooking that Oklahoma game. I think I saw only 2 or 3 times ever has Missouri won in Norman.
Yeah, it's not a good play. I agree.
It's a voodoo place.
Yeah, it is.
So is Jordan Hare.
Yeah,
the last few. I mean, you think about the Nate Noel play, fumbling out of the end zone to lose the game, the 21-yard field goal missed by Mevis. Like that, it's been a bad place.
But the other thing too, though, Grant, is the fact that Missouri. That's a good point you bring up. Missouri on the road last year, dreadful,
bad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they had a shot, should have won the South Carolina game.
I saw that highlight of the Luther Burden play again. I was so happy. I was so excited.
But then
that play was awesome.
But then you think about how bad things were at Texas A&M and how
Bama.
bad they were at Bama. But then for that team, Missouri won games last year, and I'm telling you, I give Brady Cook a lot of credit. And we're looking at a Missouri team. Think about this. Coming out of the SEC, 12th, they're picked 12th. They returned 17 starters. You're talking about a team that returned 17 starters that won 10 games last year, and the SEC is still saying they're 12th. That shows you, 1, how difficult the conference is. Obviously, we already know that. And then 2, there's not a lot of respect because of the offensive names who are not there.
Vic, we can note this, and when I want to preface with this. I did just graduate in May, so what I'm about to say doesn't mean a lot. But I would be willing to put my entire fortune, which isn't a small fortune, again. I've had a job for 2 months, but my all of my money in my bank account on they will be better than the 12th place team in the SEC.
I would do that too.
If someone had those odds somewhere, Missouri to finish better than 12th in the SEC, I'd put all the money in the world on it because they are not finishing. 1, it's an easy schedule. 2, I think they're better than that. Like, they're just not. It's not going to happen.
Another thing,
they're going to go at least 4-4 in the SEC.
Here's the thing. I didn't expect people or the media to think that there's some juggernaut.
Yeah.
But they're 21 wins the last 2 years with 17 freaking starters returning, and you're telling me you're picking them 12th. Once again, that's the chip on the shoulder. I am grateful that Eli brought that up. Can't use that with his team, and you don't have any sort of prima donna attitude on this Missouri Tiger football team, and you got a bunch of bad arses on that defense.
Yeah.
And then if you're healthy, it's a huge cap. That's the thing with anybody. That's something you have to look at. But they've got depth on defense too. They don't on offense. Maybe at receiver. They don't have depth at offense. Okay.
Running back.
Maybe you're right. Running back. You're right.
Quarterback. Oh, they have 2 pretty good.
They don't have. Well, 0 proven.
Yes.
Defense. You've got all kinds of depth. I would much rather be in Missouri's situation from a defensive standpoint in the SEC, where they are with their schedule for next year. Looking at it.
So let's look at the schedule. So we've talked about it, obviously, a lot. Your non-con games, all very winnable. You should go 4-0. UMass, Louisiana, Central Arkansas. Then obviously the Kansas game. Rivalry game. Even if Mizzou is head over heels over Kansas, I would be shocked if that game is more than a 10-point game. It's just what happens, in rivalry games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, after you play those 3 games of non-con, one against Central Arkansas, Louisiana, Kansas, you play South Carolina at home this time. So one of the opponents you lost to last year. Then you play UMass. Then you play Bama at home. You start with 6 road games. Mm-hmm. So Bama's a team you lost to. Yeah, pardon me. Then you play 2 road games against Auburn and Vandy. And then you play A&M, the third team that you lost to. How do you... What's the winnable game here?
Which ones?
Out of those 3 games that you lost, what's the most winnable for the return now this year at home?
We don't have all the information.
Yeah.
On July 21st, because you don't know. Momentum's a big thing.
Yeah.
Injuries are a big thing.
But I'm just saying, if you're looking right now,
you're looking at South Carolina.
I think so too.
Of course, I think it's easy.
I think they're a little overhyped. Lenore Sellers is awesome, but I don't know if he's that.
I think he's legit.
You think?
I do, because of his ability to run,
mm-hmm.
and he can throw well enough, and his ability to run. But the thing that makes me feel better is a freaking badass defense, which is what Mizzou has. That's what gets me excited about that game in regards to Mizzou having a chance to do, and plus at home.
Yeah, and then
Mizzou has already proven year after year how good they are at home under Eli Drinkwitz.
They almost beat Georgia, who's one of the best college teams we've seen in the last 10, 15 years, with a bad team. Okay, then you look at Bama. They have question marks. I mean, obviously it's Bama. They're going to have studs on defense. They have Ryan Williams. They're going to have studs. But the main position as quarterback, and Ty Simpson is just as unproven as Bo Perbula. We know he's played less than Bo Perbula. We know nothing about him.
I know. You're right.
I'm just saying. Points. And then with A&M too, they lost 4 of their last 5 games. Marcel Reed did not look good at all at the end of last season.
There's some tension there.
Exactly.
There's some pressure.
These 3 games, there's
on Mike Elko, their head coach, and crew. There's no doubt. The other thing that I was a bit surprised, I didn't know, and then I thought about it. I was like, well, maybe not. We know what Mizzou has, and it's a quiet confidence, because when they did, the SEC media did a first team, a second team, and a third team. Only 2 Missouri players got any recognition on 3 freaking teams. Caden Green, the offensive lineman, of course, he's first team offensive lineman. They expect him.
Yeah.
And they're going to need him.
First team All SEC.
All SEC. And then a third team, our newcomer, Kevin Coleman Jr., who Mike Kelly last week told us is every bit the part that
Blake
Luther
Craig got
Hurton was.
snubbed.
Yeah, he did, but he missed some field goals last year. I don't have any issue. But two players out of 3 teams. So it lines up with picking them 12th.
Yeah.
But I think Mizzou fans are like, yeah, I'm not buying it. I think Mizzou fans are like, okay, let's see. Let's see what we have. And, of course, lots of question marks on offense, which is why they are where they are. But I think we would take it where they are coming into this year.
Yeah.
Quiet optimism.
I agree. And then, so we talk about the games that they lost on the road. Now they're at home. A couple games, I think their road schedule is pretty favorable.
Of course,
you play Vandy, Vandy's not the Vandy of the past. They're legit. It's gonna be a tough team to beat. But if you had your choice of the pick of the litter of road games in the SEC, Vandy and Mississippi State would be one of the 2 you want, and you got Vandy. You have a road game against Arkansas.
I'm worried about Vanderbilt.
I am too, but I'm saying that is a team you would want to play on the road.
Correct.
You are on the road at Arkansas, who also remember, we don't think will be very good.
Vanderbilt, I've got to interrupt you.
They beat Bama. I know.
Not only did they beat Bama, Missouri
barely beat them
at home.
I know.
And Vanderbilt, in my humble opinion, will be much improved this year.
I agree.
From where they were last year.
I agree. But I'm just saying that of road games in the SEC, that's one you would want.
Okay. All right, my friend.
But then on the road at Auburn and on the road at Oklahoma are 2 very, very, very tough atmospheres.
Of course they are.
It's going to be interesting how they play on the road, because it was bad last year.
Yeah, but Oklahoma's offense is going to be
a question mark.
Well, I think they're going to be 3 times better this year.
I think so too, but still a question mark.
They have receivers. They've gone out and got receivers, and they'll have healthy. If nobody could have as many injuries as Oklahoma had at the receiver position. And if Oklahoma plays Mizzou last year with 2 receivers healthy, they beat Missouri. I was at that game going, oh my gosh, we are so lucky.
To be fair, though, we also playing with a backup quarterback.
True. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The whole injury. But that backup quarterback had a good game.
Yeah.
Even for his limit of talent that he had. But we were all expecting a whole lot more
And like you said, it's
from
tough.
that player.
We could play. I mean, Missouri could play A&M at home, and A&M could be on their fourth string quarterback.
It's so
week
speculative.
8, 9.
I know it lines up very, very, very well. I can never remember a Missouri schedule, especially for the level, and that's why you see all of these prognosticators. I've seen 3 different people pick Missouri as one of the teams to make their first college football playoff.
That'd be so awesome.
And they're saying it because of one reason: their schedule. But then it doesn't add up with what the SEC media is saying, picking them 12th. Like, which is it? I mean, there's guys who know college football, including Joe Klatt, because
he makes me mad, though.
Of course. I mean, I know he rubs me the wrong way too, but I'm telling you, he knows his college football. He does. And even he was saying Missouri with the easy schedule, one of his top 8 teams to make their first college football playoff.
And here's another thing. It's hard to say what will happen, but we've seen last year 9-3 teams get close. I think Missouri's schedule this year, because last year 9-3, you didn't beat anybody. This year,
if they would have beat South Carolina,
they could have got in.
They wouldn't have, but they would have been
because
close. They would have been
lost by 70 on the road.
They would have been
combined.
One of the 2 teams.
Yes,
that would have been next in.
But this year, I think 9-3 gives you a chance, depending on who you beat. Because if you go 9-3, that either means you beat probably one of South Carolina, Bama, A&M, or you won a lot of really tough road games. So
you beat Kansas, you beat South Carolina. Those are your 2 toughest games to start the season.
If you can start 5-0,
I know.
That Bama game would be really fun. But I feel like I've done this a lot with Missouri in the year. If they could start 4 or 5-0, and then they lose a bad game.
I get it. I'm right with you.
Like the Kelly Bryant era when they lost to Wyoming week 1. That's one of the that schedule was so easy too.
Well, that game was all about turnovers, mistakes.
And then they lost to Vandy.
Mistakes.
They won their next 6 games and lost to Vandy at Vandy. So maybe at Vandy's not easy.
It's not. I'm telling you.
They're gonna go 6-6.
I'm a bit worried. I'm only because Vandy has a new attitude. Their quarterback is playing in his 10th year of college football.
He's 37.
Yeah. And they're much improved, and I really like their new coach.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And he gets it. Great pedigree. Did a really good job at Notre Dame. He gets it.
I agree. Let's take a quick break here, Vic. Come back. We're going to have Colin McAndrew on. He's going to tell us a little bit about Jason Crow Jr., the 5-star commit that Missouri basketball got. So we'll switch gears a little bit, but we'll also make sure to talk to Colin a little bit about the football team, which is just 4.5 weeks away from week 1. This is MIZ-ZOU on the Loot Information Station. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the J. Randolph Jr. Studios.
information station. We're live and on demand at luinfo.com. You can find us on YouTube too at luinfo. We're talking a lot of football. I want to transition now, Vic, to some basketball. And joining us for that conversation will be Colin McAndrew of the Columbia Tribune. Colin, how are we this morning?
I'm doing great, Grant. How are you?
Doing well. So Jason Crow Jr. commits to the Missouri Tigers. 5-star point guard. He's about to obliterate the record in his senior season for points scored in the state of California. He's a top 10 player already in the class of 2026. Probably will move up before it's all said and done. Tell us a little bit about him and just what a big get this is for Dennis Gates and company.
Yeah, no question. It's you can make the argument that it's Missouri's any sport best recruit since Michael Porter Jr. I think you can throw Luther Burden up in that conversation as well. But this really is a tremendous acquisition from Dennis Gates and his staff. I think it's proof positive that what they're doing on the recruiting trail is working, especially adding general manager Tim Fuller over there. You can't really understate how impressive this is. Missouri wasn't even really that involved in his recruitment at this point, maybe a month or two ago. Now we're talking about one of the best pure scorers in anywhere you'll find in the country is going to be coming to Columbia. A really impressive grab. Just a guy that can create his own shot really from anywhere. Looks like he's going to be the type of guy that puts fans in seats because of what he brings to the table. A really, really impressive acquisition for Dennis Gates and his crew.
Well, it is impressive for Coach Gates, and obviously the head coach has a lot to do with it. He's got a massively tall team around him. It could be an opportunity for him to really show what he can do because you have to guard big guys. Obviously, make it a little easier for him. But let's not forget what it takes, in my humble opinion, to get 5-star recruits, the likes of which Mizzou haven't seen since Porter Jr. It takes money.
Not wrong.
It takes a lot of money, which means, and why do you think Mizzou wasn't into the mix? My humble opinion, Mizzou stepped up with a financial package to get his attention. You have to put yourself into the game. And the only way you're putting yourself into the game right now for these recruits, at least 90% of the time, is with money. So Mizzou obviously had the financial package, and then Dennis Gates, I think, sealed the deal.
From what I can tell, just from what I've read, that wasn't the number one reason that the crew about.
Is it ever? Do they ever say it's the money?
That's also a very good point. So you can never really tell what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, we are not privy to the contracts or the packages. Universities try to keep that as hidden as possible for very good reasons. But regarding other recruits and regarding guys that are on the team right now, of course, I think Missouri is probably in a pretty good place if you can go out and land the number 6 player in the country in the NIL era, in the revenue sharing era, and all the financial dollars and cents that comes with that. Yeah, I think that indicates that you're in a pretty decent place financially if you can go out there and say, hey, we'd like you to come here, relationships, play style, whatever. We've also got to financially support you in your one and done college year. I think you can probably assume Mizzou's in a pretty decent place to be able to go and do something like that.
The one thing I will say, Vic, to push back a little bit, I'm not saying the money wasn't up there, but they didn't do a media tour. They didn't go around. They didn't take any visits. They didn't go around and say, kind of like we saw with Jackson Cantwell, trying to push up the clout, push up the money. They talked to coaches. He didn't take one visit. It seems like for the last few months, it was kind of Mizzou. He wasn't trying to. I agree.
Cha-ching.
But he wasn't bargaining anywhere. He wasn't upping his price. His price was already set by being the number 6 player in the country.
Yeah. Well,
I think if you're going to go ahead and go for dollars and figures as well, you might go to the basketball team that was involved in your recruitment that's putting together a $12 million roster this year as well in Kentucky.
And they were a finalist. That's true. They were. He didn't really give a list though of his final teams. It was just anticipated and speculated. But I also think he is advised extremely well. Curious to get your opinion on this, Colin, because he is, and I would be shocked to find out that he didn't get any advice from his uncle, who is Paul Pierce, the former Jayhawk and, of course, NBA star. He is I've heard he's the nephew of Paul Pierce, and that Paul Pierce is a guy who has advised him.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
I'm afraid. Yeah.
I will say,
I haven't been privy to those conversations if that was the case.
his dad, Jason Crow Sr., was a 12-year
NBA,
professional basketball.
He
NBA.
knows how to handle it.
Yeah, he was. I think that he has a lot of good people around him, it seems. And it really seems like he has, from what I've seen, I mean, obviously, we haven't seen a lot, but as a good, good brain on him, good head on him, like he seems like a pretty composed player. What type of player are Mizzou fans getting in 2026 with Jason Crow Jr.?
Pure scorer.
Nice.
Run and gun 3-point shooter, guy that can create his own offense. He looks really, really competent from behind the arc. Looks like he can drive downhill, get to the rim. I mean, you're looking at the numbers that he's putting up in these Nike YBL games. I mean, it's obscene. It's filthy, some of the stuff that he's doing out there. I mean, going 8 of 9 from 3-point range for 36 points total against some of the best high school basketball players in the country. I mean, him and I believe it's Tyrone Crow is the number 1 player in this class on the same team there. I mean, you're talking about a really competitive field, and this kid with the number 1 basketball player as a teammate is still going out there and creating 35, 36, 37 points.
Well, I believe he averaged 30 points in California for his high school team as a freshman. I mean, that's unbelievable. He's going to shatter the record for points scored this season.
You are getting a player that will not spend more than 1 year in Columbia. This is a one and done potential lottery pick.
Okay, that put things in perspective, Colin. Wow.
I really think we're talking about a guy that we really will have those expectations coming in his first year of college basketball next year.
I know that this team will look a little bit different. A lot of guys left the team. Dennis Gates has put some new faces, new sizes together. How do you think he fits? And obviously,
well, it's hard with 2 seasons still.
Yeah.
You got a whole season to play before he comes in.
But how do you think he fits with the guys that they have from that standpoint?
Well, it's going to be tough to tell because we don't know what Anthony Robinson is going to do at the end of this season. And I do expect him to play that sort of combo guard role a little bit for Missouri, where he handles ball handling duties, but also takes on a little bit more of a perimeter shooting role because of how well he did shoot the ball last season. So I can see we don't know if he's going to come back for a 4th year or not at this point. He's going to go in. He's going to be one of the best defensive players in the SEC this year. There will be NBA speculation whether he chooses to use another college year. That's obviously a lot more of a conversation now with the NIL money that is available to college players coming back for a senior year. So we don't really know what's going to happen on that front. The opportunities are going to be there. Basketball rosters turnover more than perhaps any sport in the NCAA because of how many limited spots there are. Dennis Gates is not afraid of turning his roster over year to year. We've seen that where he's not afraid to go in and get 4, 5, 6 transfers in a single off season. Crow is a player though I think you can count on to be someone they expect to deliver on day one though. I think that has to be when you have somebody that is a 5-star recruit that is going to be, as you mentioned, probably commanding a pretty healthy NIL and revenue sharing figure when he gets here. It's somebody that you have to expect to come in and contribute immediately.
Now, do you think you could see then in the 2026 transfer portal season, Mizzou really go pedal to the metal? I know they've done it the last few years, but really say, hey, we got a guy that we can think can be a superstar in college basketball. Let's put pedal to the metal and let's for one season just go all in, get as many these recruits in, transfers in, and try to, go make a run. Because I think when you have a guy like him, we saw Oklahoma with Jeremiah Fears not really do that. And Jeremiah Fears was trying to carry the team. Same with Trey Johnson down in Texas. Do you think that maybe they'll build around him a little bit differently?
Oh, that's a really good question. And it is obviously going to depend on what their retention looks like. I mean, we really, at this point, and I'm even wary of saying that 4-year guys will be done after this year.
Yeah, exactly.
New eligibility clauses that are coming to the NCAA, and they're speculating a 5 for 4 policy. There's just no way of telling how many years some guys are going to have and who's going to be eligible to return. So it's difficult to kind of speculate about a roster that's still 16 months away. I could absolutely see what you're proposing, where they try and get their best returners back, where they try and bring in a marquee transfer or two and really bring it for one season. But the other part is that they're still in the mix for a lot of really good high school guys, top 70 high school caliber players in this cycle. So it's tough to tell about roster construction until you actually know what's on the board.
Well, how big is it to land a guy like this 4 recruits that you're in the mix for. Say, hey, look, top 5 guy in the country wants to come play for us.
And he's the first recruit for 2026.
Yeah, first 5-star to sign.
Huge. I mean, if you can sell someone on, hey, we're bringing in a superstar, a bona fide superstar. Do you want to come play with them? Do you want to look pretty good around this kid? I think that's a pretty good selling point. Yeah.
I would say so. The other thing, you can talk about your teams and what you're going to have. When you look at what the SEC has coming back from a basketball standpoint,
if we look at next season,
yes, after having the best season in college basketball last year, have you seen or heard about the talent that the SEC will be able to bring back in this next coming season? Because that'll have a lot to do with how good of a season Missouri has as well.
At this point, I couldn't tell you the ins and outs in every roster. I can tell you pretty much the headlines. I know Teague always coming back for Kentucky, and Tad Betterford's coming back for Auburn. That's about. I think it's natural to expect a little bit of a fall off from the SEC. They're probably not going to put 14 teams in the NCAA tournament again. That's obscene. I wouldn't expect that. But I do think Missouri, from what I can tell, from what I've read, from what I've gathered, Missouri probably has 2 of the better returning players anywhere in the SEC, in Mark Mitchell and Anthony Robinson. I think that's a pretty impressive core for them to build around this year. We'll see what the rest of the league looks like when it's time for some SEC basketball. I wouldn't expect a league sending. I don't think any league in the country is going to send 14 teams to a tournament again.
Now, with we talked about Jason Crow Jr. It's not going to be though till 2026 till he comes and plays in Columbia. Missouri fans could get a chance to see him a little earlier that in the Norm Stewart Classic. Is that correct? That
is correct. Yeah. Got word of that on, what day is it now? Sunday morning or Saturday morning. One of the two. Doesn't really matter. No, he will be. Him and his Inglewood, California high school basketball team will be coming to play on December 6th at Mizzou Arena. Huge props to the organizers for that. I think that's a really good way to get people in seats for what is already an enjoyable and well put together high school basketball showcase. But having obviously what is going to be Mizzou's marquee signature recruit in this class, somebody fans are going to be excited to see but won't see for another 15 months. A chance to see him in a cameo appearance in December is I think that's an excellent job from the tournament organizers.
Well, and I think it's a little bit of you could build a little pipeline in that area of California that produces a lot of good talent. If Crow goes on and has a good career at Mizzou, takes the next level, maybe this team will keep coming to this tournament, his Inglewood team, and guys talk. Guys over there will talk about how fun Missouri is, and that could help Dennis Gates and company a lot.
Yeah, I will say I did a feature on Kobe Brown a couple of weeks ago just about he's beginning year 3 with the LA Clippers, and obviously they're based in Inglewood, California. So I asked him if he'd been in on the Jason Crow recruitment. He was either playing at Coy, but he did tell me that he was not. So that this was all Mizzou staff. So they've now got to fight Inglewood at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, and I know it's early, but I really, really do think, because we have time for me to make this statement and ask you, I do think that it's going to be a vital year for Dennis Gates. Yes, he's been able to recruit. Yes, he's been able to put some players together. But I still remember the sick feeling I had in my stomach watching with several Mizzou alumni the awful display of basketball we saw in the NCAA tournament. I'm a homer. I'm an alum. I'm a former football player. I love my Mizzou Tigers. But that display, we can't see that again in a way to end the season. I'm curious
I would agree with that.
And how important you feel Dennis Gates and the pressure that is on Dennis Gates making the money that he makes to see this team, because we know it only matters about what they do in that NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think right now I would not say Dennis Gates' seat is even lukewarm.
No, I wouldn't either, but there's pressure on him to produce.
I certainly think that it would help his case. Yeah, I think if we could see a little bit better X's and O's when it comes to crunch in the NCAA tournament like that, because you're looking at 2 really disappointing tournament losses now.
Mm-hmm.
Princeton. I mean, obviously Princeton is it's March. there's a reason to call it March Madness. You're going to come up against a Cinderella team every once in a while, but that was a disappointing performance against that Princeton team. And then this year, just a really, really flat night from pretty much start to end against Drake. And again, plucky Drake team led by one of probably the better coaches in college basketball at the moment, one of the hottest coaches in college basketball at the moment, at least in Ben McCollum. But you want to end that streak before it goes on a little too long. I think you're right on that, Mark. I would, especially the talent acquisition, the recruiting has to pay dividends at some point. But I think as long as Gates is able to at least consistently bring Missouri to the NCAA tournament, I don't think his seat's going to be overly hot, especially not this year.
Callum, I want to transition quickly here. We got a few minutes, obviously talking about Crow Jr. I want to talk about football. What do you make of Elijah Drinkowitz at SEC Media Days, and what do you make of Missouri being 12th? We talked about a little bit in the media poll.
Yeah, I don't put any stock in media polls. I've voted in them before, and I don't know who Auburn's starting right guard is. I'm going to be honest with you. Like that's we're also focused on the teams that we cover, that people don't really know a whole lot about the teams that they don't cover, and that's why I just don't put. I know it's the case for me, so I'm assuming it's the case for the other dozens, if not hundreds, of people that are voting in that poll. 12th, you could put, for me, there's a clear top three in the SEC at the moment, at least in the preseason, where it's Texas, Alabama, and Georgia. And then after that, you could throw anyone, anywhere, at any place. It'll all play itself out on the field. I think that there is quite a bit of parity in that middle portion of the conference in the SEC this year. A lot of unknowns still to me. I think Missouri's going to finish 12th in the conference? No. I do think they'll be better than that. I do think that they've managed to bring in the pieces that will help them achieve better than that, and they've consistently produced better than that in the last couple of years. So I don't think that's where they'll finish, but preseason media polls, you can miss me with them. I don't really put too much stock in them. Eli Drinkwitz, man, he put on a show. I'm glad that he did that. He had I'd say one of the better SEC Media Days performances, and I like his college football playoff idea. I think it's a really good idea. 30
teams.
I would love to see some play-in games instead of
deciding
it in a back room. I am absolutely all for. Nobody's ever going to listen to it because that's obvious reasons with executives and TV deals. But I think it's a great idea.
Well, he acts a lot like Mike Leach, who was one of his heroes, and it reminded me of Mike Leach. He was dry. He had a sense of humor, and I talked about this at the beginning of the show with Grant. I'm like, not only does he show up now with a football team that you have to respect, regardless of where they're picking them, 21 wins the last 2 years, but he shows up and he walks in and he commands presence like your old SEC school ball coaches would have. And that's what I love Missouri has in him right now.
I like that he came out and he said, you know what, I don't really care what anyone thinks about me anymore. I think that's a good place for your football coach to be. I've always appreciated his willingness to take on the bigger topics, whether it was conference realignment, whether it was regional rivalries, whether it was NIL, transfer portal, to speak honestly and to speak about just the evolving landscape of college football, just directly with us, and really how he's adjusting to it and how it's affecting people and how it impacts players he coaches. I've always appreciated that about him, and I'm glad that it seems like it will continue.
Callum, thank you for coming on. Callum McAndrew of the Columbia Tribune. Make sure to find all his great work there. Thanks for joining us, and we'll for sure have you on again soon.
Appreciate it, Grant. Thank you very much.
Callum McAndrew again of the Columbia Tribune. Thought he said a lot of interesting things, especially excited with how excited he is about Crow Jr. That's that gets me excited.
A lot of hype.
One and done.
There's a lot of hype.
Is potential top 10, top 15 pick.
It is. And I'm sitting back, taking a deep breath.
It's 2 years still. We got a
deep breath. 2 years. And the last time we had that hype machine was Michael Porter Jr. And we know what happened.
He got hurt.
Yeah.
And he didn't live up to it.
And I don't want exactly. So I've just
don't
learned.
Get overhyped yet.
I've learned to just sit back. Let's go. We'll take it. We'll see where it goes. And just watch him come into camp.
It was also quickly here, I got to say this, a calm commitment. He just unzipped the shirt. He had MIZ-ZOU, put on the hat. Nothing crazy, nothing flashy. I like that about him. Well, Vic, another great show. I'll be out next week, but Brendan Schaefer will
teach him
be great in my
ropes
absence
next week. Absolutely. And don't think for a second, my young partner friend, that money doesn't have a lot to play with.
I agree.
I know we differ, but I'm telling you, it's all about the Benjamins in this day and age.
It's all about the money, but I think Kentucky's offer was probably more than Mizzou's. That's all I'm saying.
It all depends on who was there, too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, this is MIZ-ZOU. Next up, Charlie Tuna in the posse for Vic Faust. I'm Grant Salsman. We'll be back next week on the Loot Information Station.
You've been strong for everyone else, but let me ask you, who is strong for you?